Hiya. Right, well, I'm sorry I've been missing for a while. I've had quite a lot of things going on, and I'm not going to go into that now. But what I'm going to do is tell you about a new line of videos that I'm going to do, and these are called spooky stories. Now, I call them spooky stories because they are quite spooky. They are personal experiences that I've had that I want to share with you guys. I did a talk about some of these experiences a couple of years ago at a local histories and mysteries group, and I thought it'd be nice to do some short videos about each experience and kind of see what you think about it. So, without further ado, I will go back to my earliest memories of my first spooky experiences. I was a child that never really slept well. My mum said that I was terrible, that I never slept, that I was always awake and always seemed kind of disturbed. Now, that's probably quite normal for a lot of babies and was obviously normal for me at the time. I had very vivid dreams from a very young age and had some strange experiences. Now, the first of these experiences kind of happened alongside a series of dreams that I had up until the age of 15. The first part of it was I remember dreaming about London. I was very young. I'd never been to London in my life. I just knew that I was dreaming about London. And I kind of woke up and saw a clock face on my wardrobe. A bit like Big Ben's clock face, if you've ever seen that. And a shadowy figure crept across my room in a kind of hunched kind of manner from one side to the other and then vanished. During that time, I shouted out, "Daddy, Daddy, is that you?" It wasn't my dad. I then kind of consoled myself that it must have been Spider-Man. I was a big Spider-Man fan, and this character, creature, whatever, shadowy figure was moving very much like Spider-Man. So with that in mind, I kind of put it aside and went to sleep. Now, this is where things get a bit interesting. I remember at this point having this dream, and this dream is a recurrent dream that happened throughout my childhood up until the age of 15. The dream kind of starts where I am in a white corridor. I call it a corridor because that's what it looks like to me. And there are two beings, one of which is quite insect-like, almost like a praying mantis type of creature, and the other is as broad as it is tall and is quite fat. Now, these two creatures gave the impression, or certainly appeared to me, as if they were human. But obviously there was something not right about these creatures. I kind of got the impression, obviously the more often I had the dream, the more I kind of saw through their kind of disguise, if you were. So they looked kind of human but weren't, because one was very, very painfully thin with these very insect-like limbs and, you know, didn't look right, and the other was very large and roundish and kind of just strange. I'm really hoping I've got the pictures to this, because If so, I will put them in here. Can't really, these creatures, I have no other way of kind of describing them, were walking me down this corridor. It was somewhere that I didn't want to go because I was very frightened. I remember thinking there must be something that reminds me of home, if you like, something that is a kind of a touchstone in the dream that is kind of real. And I remember walking down this corridor and there was a brown wooden cabinet, like a bedside cabinet. And I remember kind of reaching out to touch it and feeling that it was wood and that this was, you know, something that I could relate to. I was walked down this corridor by these two creatures into what I can only describe as kind of like a large arena type of place. Now it was white, it was still all white inside, and it was kind of oval shaped. The sides were a bit kind of curved and the roof was a bit curved, and it was all white. It was very bright in there. I remember seeing lots of other people in there. Now, not anybody that I knew particularly, but there were people in there as well as me. Bearing in mind, I am utterly terrified. I am absolutely, categorically, without a doubt, scared shitless. There is on one wall is a kind of large screen. And on this screen are images that are being kind of projected. I couldn't tell you what these images were, but there was kind of all sorts of, there was pictures, there was videos, it was all going on, and majority of people in this space were kind of watching these videos, these films. I remember thinking that all I could do was scream, and that's what I did. I screamed and screamed and screamed. At this point, I kind of got the impression that I didn't quite know what to do, and it's then that I kind of woke up. On waking, I would be paralysed, absolutely stuck to the bed, unable to move, my mouth open in a scream, but no sound coming out. That was also very scary. Now, I've heard of sleep paralysis, which this is what it could have been. I accept that the creatures and the whole thing was part of a dreamscape, but why would I have the dream consistently over the years? There's no reason for it. So, my question, I think, and how I'm kind of perceiving it now and how I kind of want to share it with everybody is to say, well, I don't know what happened. I know that I was very scared when these creatures appeared and when I was in this space, this white space. I know that there was stuff going on that I didn't know about. And I accept that it could be my brain creating stuff. I accept that it could be extraterrestrial in origin. I accept that it could be, you know, secret cabals of the government doing weird things. I accept that it could be any possibility of what it is. What I'm interested in is what you guys think about it. When I was around 21, I actually spoke for the first time of this experience to a group of quite spiritual people. And one of the people said to me, "Have you read Communion by Whitley Strieber?" I said, "No, I haven't." And I went out and got it kind of the next day. And obviously what Whitley Strieber wrote about was his experiences of the so-called greys and his experience with being abducted. Now, could I have been abducted by aliens? Maybe, I don't know. Could I have been abducted by the fairy folk? Remember, I'm part Irish, so there is a belief there that the fairy folk exist and that they go to fairyland and whatever, and that, you know, they're not always as nice as we like to think of fairies. You know, there's no fluffy fairies. It's nature. It's very... Nature in and of itself is quite... how can I put it? Neutral about everything. So I accept that it could be that. I accept it could be any possibility whatsoever. But I'm interested to hear if anybody else out there has had any other experiences like this. I've tried contacting UFO groups about it, but generally speaking, unless I'm talking about lights in the sky and you know, grey aliens, generally speaking, most people don't want to know. I have thought about being regressed. I wondered if a regression might help and might open up some aspects of it. I have been regressed on other things, which I'll kind of go into at another time. I've had countless experiences down the years, and basically I want to share with you the most prominent ones, really. But that was my earliest memory and something that carried through for a number of years. So yeah, I'd be interested to know what you think. If you think I'm mad, by all means tell me. I don't know. I like to consider myself a fairly rational person. I'm a sceptical person, but I will accept possibilities. So on that note, I'm going to leave this little video here, and I will hopefully get in touch and do some more videos soon too on some of the other experiences that I've had down the years. So I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye.